Do Olympic athletes have to pay taxes on the value of their gold medals or silver or bronze medals? So here's the general rule. This comes from the Internal Revenue Code, Section 61. It says gross income, income you pay tax on. Gross income means all income from whatever source derived. That is a very, very, very broad description. And in fact, Section 61 gives 14 examples and makes it really clear that these aren't the only examples. There's a catch-all provision in there. So theoretically, if you win a big chunk of metal, you have income. It's got value. And with the current price of gold, certainly these gold medals are not solid gold, but the melt value of them is about $2,500. So we know the definition of income is very broad, and there would be an argument that, yeah, it's got value and you should be taxed on that. But there's an exception to that, which I'm going to talk about. But think about this. If you win an Olympic medal, theoretically, you have income. There's value to that thing, even though it's not cash or a check or a direct deposit. But in 2016, Congress passed the United States Appreciation for Olympians and Paralympians Act. It's easy to say. And that excludes from taxes cash prizes and the fair market value of medals, as long as the athlete's adjusted gross income is under $1 million. So if you're an Olympic athlete and if your income's less than $1 million, you don't have to pay tax on the value of whatever medal you may win. But there's that other really important piece of this, that their total adjusted gross income has to be under $1 million. And this is where actually some planning could come into place. And the good news is there are ways to legally reduce your adjusted gross income. This is part of what tax planning does, and keep you under that threshold. So if you're an athlete and you do some proactive tax planning to keep your adjusted gross income under $1 million, because once you add in things like sponsorship deals and whatever you're making on social media and stuff like that, it might not be a difficult threshold to reach. So you can plan to keep your income under that if you do it properly. The other thing that I find really interesting about the current Olympic Games, Winter Olympic Games in 2026, is apparently these medals are kind of fragile and they're breaking. I don't know if that affects the value, and if we got folks over that $1 million threshold that are paying tax, maybe we can make an argument that they're actually worth less and they should pay less tax on these things if they're above that threshold.